New details about the FBI's search of former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. The Washington Post reports that agents found a document describing a foreign government's nuclear capabilities and military defenses. That's according to people familiar with the matter. So senior investigative correspondent Catherine Herridge is in Washington, has been following the story for us and has all the details. Good morning, Catherine.
Well, good morning, Anne-Marie. National security and nuclear experts told CBS News if the intelligence was compromised in this case, it has the potential to damage collection methods, even burn sources. The analysts who do not have firsthand knowledge of the Mar-a-Lago records said intelligence describing a foreign government's military defenses, including its nuclear capabilities, can reveal fragile collection methods, such as human sources, electronic surveillance, and spy satellite technology. In the intelligence world, this highly classified information is called compartmented intelligence because the distribution is limited access, highly restricted, and on a need-to-know basis, such as the president, a limited number of cabinet secretaries, and those directly running an operation. The experts said it will be important to know if the military defense intelligence is about an adversary or a friendly nation, because gathering on our partners is done but considered extremely sensitive. The Washington Post cites people familiar with the matter, which CBS News has been unable to independently verify. The former president's spokesperson accused the Post of coordinating with the Biden administration in, quote, never-ending leaks. Anne-Marie.
This is all quite interesting. We know, at least from the documents that we have been able to see, that the FBI, the charges that they were sort of looking into had to do with removal or destruction of records, obstruction of justice, but also violations of the Espionage Act. You know, the other two have to do with the documents. Violations of the Espionage Act could sort of mean a lot. So how could this information that we have now impact the investigation and also the appointment of a special master?
Well, you know, the courts work independently, and really the next big deadline, Anne-Marie, for that is going to be Friday. The Justice Department and the Trump legal team have until then to submit a list of potential candidates as special master that they can both agree on, as well as some recommendations about the scope of a special master's responsibilities. Back to these records, I wish we had more information about what exactly is the nuclear component, but let's just say it's the nuclear operation of a foreign adversary. It's extremely important because that is information where these collection methods are fragile, and that's a term in the intelligence world, which means that they can be very easily disrupted or destroyed, and they may even come from one of our foreign partners, their intelligence service. So when we compromise that information, it's not just that we compromise our own methods of collection, but we actually compromise what belongs to another government, which I think in some ways is even more serious because it's so divisive in terms of our ongoing relationship with them. So we need to know more about what nuclear means in this context. We need to know more about whether sources and methods may have been compromised, whether it was seen or delivered or reviewed by someone outside of President Trump, and how it factors into the special master. I'm not really sure it does, but it certainly factors into public perception, right, of the kind of documents that are at issue here.
Yeah, definitely. I want to ask you about something else, too. Former Trump advisor, Steve Bannon. He's going to be headed to New York. He's got a case here. He says he's going to be turning himself in. You know, it's been a while, so I think people need a bit of a refresher as to what he's accused of. These are state charges. He was accused of something very similar on a federal level, but he was pardoned. So give us a little background.
Okay, what folks need to know is that just because there were federal allegations against you, let's say the case was closed, or in this case, you were pardoned by a president, that kind of wipes the slate clean on the federal level, but that doesn't allow you to escape from the same charges on a state level, and that appears to be, Anne-Marie, what's playing out here. If you think back, there was a fundraising campaign. Prosecutors would call it an illegal scheme called We Build the Wall to raise money to build the wall privately along the southern border. And the allegation is that it was the money was misappropriated, if you will, and that individuals were enriching themselves as part of this operation. Steve Bannon has said that he thinks this is politically motivated and an effort to kind of take him off the election battlefield before November. But I think we'll have a much better sense on Thursday the nature of these charges, how serious they are, and how much, in fact, they mirror the federal case, which was wiped away when Steve Bannon was pardoned.
Catherine Herridge, thank you very much.
You're welcome.